thing rolling. All right. Camera rolling. What's up, everybody? My name is Imani Lee. That is my actual birth name, but I go by Imani Lenz. Look, I'm about to take you on a creative journey into who I am, into what I am, into why I am, into where I came from, etc., 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 etc. Okay? I'm going to start here because I've been behind the scenes for a long time. And I have a lot to say and a long time to do it. So get some popcorn, get something healthy, actually. Get some fruit, get some grapes. Yeah. All right. So where do I start? Here we go. My name is Imani Lenz. I'm using the term creative artist. I want to use the term creative artist because the very fact that creativity is so subjective and being an artist is so subjective. And I wanted a way to just simply keep my realm of creativity open. So I want to say I'm a creative artist because I think a billion miles an hour. I have so many creative thoughts that go through my mind. And art is a form of expression. I like to express myself. I love expressing myself in different ways. Voiceovers, acting, and a lot of different ways that the average person does not. But they have the power to, right? So being a creative artist, I had to learn to tap into my creativity in a way that I could turn it on, turn it off. And in being a creative artist, I now have given myself the permission to be my authentic self. But it took years of peeling back layers. I'm going to take you back, share some stories with you, even from middle school, actually going back as early as childhood. As I was a kid, when I was a kid, a child, a jit, when I was small, the power of observation became known to me. You know, from the ages 0 to 7 are those formative years. And from those ages of 0 to 7, I learned to be a powerful observer. I didn't talk a lot when I was a child. Yeah, actually, I didn't talk a lot. Yeah, I didn't talk a lot. And because I was observing the world, soaking in. And that was my first lens. If you want to know what my name means, Imani Lenz with a Z, like a camera lens. This camera lens, okay? My first lens when I opened my eyes coming out of the womb, boom, and I could see the world around me. The light was so bright. Don't ask me how I know. I'm like channeling right? Okay. So when I came out that womb and I was observing the world, I'm like, wow, I came back. I'm here. I did it. I made it back to planet Earth. But here's the thing. When I came back to Earth, I lost sight of my mission. I forgot my ability to remember, why am I here? Why are you here? We all came back and we forgot. We say matrix, the system that we chose to come back. I chose to come back. I know it. And when I came back and I said, oh man, why am I here again? I forgot. Now I have to remember. So my whole journey, my whole life up until this point has been a state of remembrance. Me remembering why I'm here. Every single day, every single hour, what's going on in here and here is, why am I here? And I've been on that journey of self-discovery, of self-memory, of self-awareness, and creating my own path. Now, of course, life happens. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I didn't grow up with a lot of friends, a lot of network, right? I didn't grow up with a lot of education in that sense of knowledge being passed down, or information, I should say. Wisdom got passed down to me from my mom, right? A little bit of my dad as well. I didn't grow up with him. I can acknowledge that, right? But I was always observing. So everybody who came into my life, I learned something from. And that helped me gravitate to my third eye, as I like to call it, because my first two eyes is right here. I can observe the world and what's happening to me in my world, right? We have the world, and then we have my world. And my world was shaping and unfolding right in front of me. And I said, well, I see it happening, but how do I change it? How do I change me? I'm 9 years old asking myself these questions. These are things that people got to go to a therapist. People got to go to a dark room and get in a little circle and talk about amongst themselves. And I was thinking this stuff when I was 9 years old. How do I change the world? How do I see things happening every day growing up in Miami? What's my role in all of this? Am I just a bystander? Am I supposed to sit back and just let life unfold? Or am I supposed to take life by the horns? As they say, grab the bull by the horns. Am I supposed to figure out how I fit in this world? Or I just sit back and chill and just let what be, let what is be? Was that term? Que sera, sera. No, I decided this camera, when I gravitated in high school, my friend wanted to be a rapper. My dad was also into short films and he was getting into that. But really, my friend wanted to be a rapper and my brother had a camera. And I picked up that camera and made a music video for my friend. That was it. I fell in love with the ability to not just keep my observations in my head, in between my two ears. I said, whoa, the power of a camera and what it can do. It can change my world. And if it can change my world, it can change someone else's world. And if it can change someone else's world, it can have a ripple effect. And that is what we call storytelling through the lens. And I've seen the power of storytelling. And I harness the power of storytelling. And that is a responsibility that I cherish and I take serious, but also am lighthearted. Because what I realized, I had to give myself permission to step into the role of storytelling. Because I easily, in my life, in my career, I easily got roped up into the title of videographer, photographer. And although those roles at different points in our life, we occupy different roles, I believe that role a little too much. I was a little too serious with that role. I have to do this. I have to pay bills. I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my mortgage. I have to pay my light bill. I have to go to work. I have to. And it became too much, where I lost sight of what I was starting to remember when I was 16, 17 years old. I lost sight because the real world happened. Me losing sight was by design, because everything we go through in life requires us to lose ourselves just a little bit. And depending on you and your world, you may lose yourself a lot. But during that loss, how can you ever appreciate the wins if you've never lost something? If you've never lost at the game, how can you appreciate winning? And you may call it failure, but as long as you don't quit, There's another day to get up and try to win. And winning isn't money. Winning is the remembrance, the skill that you've developed. It's a state of remembrance, of remembering who you were and why you're here and what you are capable of. So as a creative artist, my journey, my path is now more clear than it's ever been because I am in a state of remembrance. I am in a state of self-awareness. And that self-awareness feels so beautiful every day where I can wake up and go, I'm aware. I am aware of my flaws, of perceived flaws. I'm aware of my strengths. I'm aware of my ability to manifest. And now, this is the journey that I am on, to manifest, to live in my abundance as a creative artist who uses video, photo, music, and other forms of expression to express, to bring the joy and the love and the energy that is flowing within me every single day to people like you who also want to feel the love and feel the joy and feel that resonant energy when you're watching my content. That is the most beautiful thing right now that I can do in terms of creative expression. I want people to enjoy, to not just consume, but to integrate, to align with my content. The people who watch my content are searching for something. They want energy. They want my frequency. And wanting is not a bad thing. I am aligning myself, but I had to do it for me first so I can align myself to you, the viewer. I've been and I'm still going on my journey of self-expression, my journey of self-love, my journey of self-remembrance, my journey of self-gratitude. And this is how I want to speak to you. I could be here, well, I have to speak like this in a dark, deep accent because speaking deeper is more authoritative. Speaking slower is more authoritative. Speaking is a form of expression. And me speaking to each and every single one of you who are watching, I want the love to shine through. I want the positivity to shine through. I want the peace and prosperity to shine too, because everything that I'm doing, you have a state of remembrance that you can tap into to remember why you're here, why you're doing the very thing that you're doing. And we can do it together. Imagine a world where we're all doing the thing that we love to do. That is being a creative artist. Everybody is a creative artist because art is a form of self-expression. It is a form of how we see and view the world. Every industry, every genre, everything in the world has some form of expression. As somebody out there is like, I love to be expressing and doing that thing. When it doesn't become art is when it drains us. Art is supposed to make us think, make us feel, or help us think and help us feel. It does two things. It helps us think and it helps us feel. And we can do that through our senses of sight, smell, taste, touch, right? And all these other senses that we have yet to tap into as infinite powerful beings on this planet. Spiritual beings, infinite spiritual beings on this planet. And so I sit here today wanting to share not just my story of where I grew up. I'm sharing with you my why. Because art is all around us. And it's our job as creative artists in this world to express, to share stories of love, pain, hurt, overcoming, triumph, challenges in a way that elevates the frequency of the individual and the frequency of the collective consciousness, which is this planet of all of us around, if we want to keep it simple. But today, in today's times, there's a lot of art forms that is lowering our vibration, lowering our frequency. They say too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So what happens when there's too much of a bad thing? It's worse for everybody else. So I have to step out into the light. I can't keep doing the shadow work behind the scenes. I have to let you know that I exist because it's part of my calling. It's part of my ability to remember. Because each and every person that I touch, we've lived a lifetime together. We've seen each other. We've witnessed each other. It's no coincidence. Whoever watches this, you were meant to watch. You were meant to interface with my energy at this specific time, because I want you to remember. I want you to remember who you are. I want you to remember the joy. I want you to remember the heartache. I want you to remember the pain. Why? So you can heal and elevate and grow. Why? Because when we remember, that's when we can interpret, we become aware, and we can learn the lessons we need to learn. Art is one of the best ways you can learn the lesson, because it taps straight into that soul part of you. So me being a creative artist, I want to touch your soul. I want to activate your soul. This is me stepping into my light, which for years it's been challenging because I've had many, many layers built upon myself. And everybody is going to have a different challenge. So my challenge may be different from yours. Your challenge may be different from mine. Or we may have 99% similar challenges. But that little 1% makes the world of a difference of what we experience. And so through this creative, artistic journey, I want to share stories of triumph. I want to share stories. Some are going to be painful. I want to share stories that are going to uplift you. I want to share stories that are going to make you sit back and reflect. I want to share stories of real people doing real things in real communities. One day I'm going to get into filmmaking where it's more artistic. We have actors. I know it because I'm going to manifest. It's part of my state of remembering. It's part of my journey. But right now, it's not that part. My journey right now is to share real stories of real people doing real things, who have real lived experiences that they want to share and give back to the world. And if I can do that, see that word I just said, if I'm already doing it, but I have to overcome that belief in my head. If it's one day it's out there, maybe I'm not there. Maybe I'm not as far along as I should be. All these little questions floating in, I had to squash them. I had to mash them up because they no longer serve me. And I had to recycle that energy. I had to mash it up, recycle that energy, and bring it up into a new creative form of expression, because I had to prove to myself. I had to remember that I am doing it. I'm doing it. I've been doing it. I just had to remember. So my creative series, everything that you see is creativity. I'm being a creative artist. I'm living it every day as I wake up, breathe. I'm a creative artist with my body. I'm a creative artist with my mind. I'm a creative artist with my spirit. And every single moment that passes, I get to cherish the present moment. I get to embody a state of awareness that allows me to be creatively free and peel back those layers of me that no longer serve me. So now I'm here to tell you, Imani Lenz is here, and I'm ready to live in my infinite creative abundance. I want to share this with you. So right now, I have two creative projects that I have. They're ongoing creative projects. One is my docu-series. My docu-series is all about creating with intention and allowing the story to unfold in the present moment. No scripts, super real. My docu-series can be walkthroughs, interviews, how-tos, all the storytelling that's baked into making sure that it's rooted in real people, real places, and lived experiences. It's about preserving culture. It's about preserving community and showcasing some of the voices that you have never heard from before. This is a passionate series that I'm very, very passionate about because I want to meet new people. I want to live a life that is full of abundance where I get to wake up every day and meet somebody new and pour into somebody by sharing their story. So my docu-series is all about culture, community, and content. Being able to showcase the faces, the voices that have yet to be discovered. And I want to do that in a meaningful, creative way. Now, the second series I have is my music vlog. Remember, I'm a creative artist. So me using music is a form of expression. It's a form of expression to bring together community through music. I see music as a tool. It's a form of expression, but used appropriately, music can be a tool to unite people under one rhythm. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, boom. Right? So I love using music. And there's a lot of music out today. We know what's happening with AI music. We know what's happening with artists. And it's time for artists like me to step up and share my voice, share the beats that I find from other artists, share my voice ultimately with you in a way that resonates. It's not going to be for everybody, right? It's for you, the people who are watching and want to go deeper, want to connect with me. My lyrics are for you. For you, I talk about my camera. You may hear me say my snapper or my third eye, right? I'm talking about my lens, but ultimately, whether on a conscious tip or on a very mechanical filming, it's about perspective. And the perspective that you have and the perspective I have may be totally different or may be very, 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 very similar. And I want to use my music to bring us together in the same building. So I'm calling it music vlogs. I don't want to call it music video because a lot of times music videos take a more traditional approach where it's fictitious. It's a set. It's not real. Nothing's real on set. Everything's made up. Yes, I'll do some of those. But right now, my calling is using my platform of music and content creation, storytelling, to be able to create music vlogs that are rooted in real people, places, culture, community, content, lived experiences, whether it's a physical storefront or we're somewhere in a warehouse, doing an interview. I want to discover, I want to live life on my terms. And I encourage you to do that. Wherever you're at in life, it is never too late to live life on your terms. And figuring out, peeling back those layers of who do you need to become in order to live life on your terms. I had to ask myself that question. Who do I need to become to live life on my terms? So now, the last few years, I've been peeling back these layers of me, going through iteration. Well, maybe I should post. Maybe I should don't post. Or what do I want to post? How do I want to say it? It was not analysis paralysis. It was, I have a message that I want to communicate. And I need to grow as a person before I share that message with the world. And I'm here today to share this message with you through my docu-series, through my music vlogs, I haven't even talked about being the founder of Black Stock Footage, which is a platform about cultural preservation from my lens and hopefully other creators out there who want to come together and preserve Black culture. Why? Because I'm Black, right? I'm using the English language. I'm Black, right? that comes with several different meanings, that comes with several different interpretations, depending on the lens that you are coming from, depending on the lens of how you want to interpret the word Black and what that means from a cultural lens, a socioeconomic lens, a spiritual lens, a geography lens, a geographical, I should say, political. Remember, everything we say gets filtered through somebody else's lens, the lens of hearing. So I may say Black, you may hear that and think one thing. I may say it and think another thing. Okay? So that is why I started Black Stock Footage, to be a platform of cultural preservation where we can preserve the stories that in 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to be gone. They're not going to be here. So cultural preservation is of the utmost importance. And it's such a big task. But I want to do it in a way that's fun, that's lively, serious at times, but also it has a spirit of community. The content that I want to create through Black Stock Footage, I want it to be rooted in community. Yes, we'll show scripted, we'll show backdrops and models and staged things, but Black Stock Footage is about community. I'm going to touch on that more. I want to wrap this up. My name is Imani Lenz. I'm a creative artist using video, photo, and music to tell stories rooted in real people, real places, real culture, and lived experiences. And I'm excited to share your story with the world.